vision.
Alright, what's up? This is another episode of the Pop Culture Galaxy Show. I'm Mark Bridge, and I'm here to talk about movies, TVs, video games, anything I want. Why? Because it's my show. Exactly. And I'm here with my guest, my homie, No Genre. What's up?
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? You know we're here to talk about Pop Culture Galaxies in the building. Yeah. Let's get it done.
Yeah, look at the camera right there. It's whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know, we got our setup here. You know, we're seeing ourselves in here. So it's like you almost want to look at the screen.
Yeah, you almost want to look at yourself to make sure you look cool.
But whatever, man. So you know, I figured since he stopped by, I could talk about movies and stuff with him. You know, because he's into movies. But you're primarily music, hip hop. You're into hip hop and stuff like that. But you're into movies and anime and video games.
Exactly.
Like he's nice. He's nice with the games, man. I let him play my Overwatch. He was fucking. He made me look like a piece of shit. You know?
Mr. Jack of all trades, man.
But yeah. So we're here to talk about movies and in chat. So let's go on to the movie news. Alright, so the first bit of movie news we want to talk about is Avatar. Now you've seen Avatar, right?
Yep, seen Avatar 1.
What you thought of Avatar?
Avatar 1 is a classic.
Yeah,
it's a classic. I could watch. That's one of the. I would say, there's like two movies that I could like really watch all the time under any circumstance. One is Avatar, and the second one would be the Kill Bill Volume 1 or 2. I could watch those anytime.
I know people hate on the Avatar movies. It's like, oh yeah, it's Fern Gully in space, or Pocahontas, or freaking.
I didn't hear that one.
Or what's the Kevin Costner movie? Dances with Wolves. But I always kind of defend it, like saying it's by design, because he was using such technology that you weren't used to yet, and to put that in a complicated movie where nobody can understand, you just wasted your whole goddamn money.
Exactly.
Right. So you're number one, you're using complicated technology, and number two, you're shooting a movie with aliens that people don't know about.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So you're making this, you make this sort of simplistic story to kind of draw audiences in to the world, because the world is a star, not really the story. Even though the story is pretty dope, it's the world is
it's the universe itself that you got to dive into.
Yeah. So now Cameron is doing 4 more of them shits, and
super dope.
And he's shooting 2 of them back to back.
That's dope. And
he just wrapped on principal photography for the main cast.
That's dope.
So it's always good to know, like, okay, once a movie goes into production, it's like, oh shit, it's actually happening. Yeah. Right? But then anything can happen, like, oh yeah, director got fired, the production shut down.
Me and my brother actually got like an ongoing joke about, I hope we're alive when Avatar 2 comes out, because this has been in production for a little minute. But I'm glad to know that it's kind of been wrapped up.
So Cameron went on Twitter, and he did like a whole video saying that the main cast, like Sam Worthington, who we haven't seen this nigga in a movie in a long time, Zoe Saldana, Sigourney Weaver, Stephen Lang, Kate Winslet, they wrapped their parts, and now they're just doing like pickup stuff and stunt shoots and stuff like that.
Can't wait to see Zoe again. Looking forward to that.
Yeah. So just to know that their part is done, you know what I'm saying, is like, that's half the battle already.
Yeah,
now it's the next half is the post production that they gotta put into it,
so to speak.
Because the first movie comes out in 2020, I think.
2020.
Yes, 2020 is the first movie.
That's dope.
And then the following year is 2021. Part 3 comes out. Then they take a break.
Oh really? Oh, they also back to. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. That's gonna be a nice little.
And they take a break in 2022, 2023. Number 4 comes out, and then 20.
Wow, a 5 movie.
Yeah.
5 movie.
So
what do they even have like a technical movie term for a 5 movie?
Okay, so you have
expansion kind of.
You have duology, trilogy, quadrilogy. Yeah, and number 5, Synquilogy.
Quintilogy.
Yeah,
Quintilogy.
I don't know.
You guys will have to comment below on that one. Help us out on that one.
Let me know what you call a 5 movie. But it's like 5 is pretty weird, right? It's like usually you have a 3 or you have a 6.
Yep. I've never heard of a 5 before. This is
but you know, like 2 is weird, even though I think 2 should be a good thing. Like for instance, the Akira movie that they're doing, that they want to do, I think that should be 2. I don't think they should do a trilogy.
Oh, you have like what I mentioned earlier. You have Kill Bill.
Volume 1. Even though really technically that's really one movie, he just had to split it up because Harvey Weinstein said, "I'm not about to release a 5-hour movie in theater, bro. You need to cut that movie or split it in 2."
Wow.
It just so happens that it really had a cool halfway point. You cut it.
You could cut it and then it just
because the first half felt more like a martial arts sort of Japanese setting, and then the second half felt more like a spaghetti western. So he really had that 2 distinct.
Yo, it was really a western.
Oh, man. So it was pretty cool. Like he'd been wanting to do a western. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that was his little taste into western, then Django, and then Hateful Eight. Let's see what he does with Star Trek.
Yep. I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping it's very gritty.
Yeah.
Very gritty.
All right, so we can move on to our next movie news. So the next thing we want to talk about is the Captain Marvel Prelude comic. Now, it's a comic, but it's pertaining to the movies. So you notice that since, what is it, Age of Ultron, we hadn't seen Nick Fury until, spoiler alert, that post-credit scene in Infinity War. Yep. And we're like, what has this guy been up to?
What's he doing? Is he sipping tea?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like
just waiting for everything to cool
He
down.
played such an important part in bringing the Avengers together, right? You would think he'll be there when they're splitting apart in Civil War, and he wasn't even around. You know, what has this guy been up to?
What is his plan?
But the comic book, if you read it, I read it, but I don't know, you didn't read it, but I can pretty much tell you what happened. Okay. So the comic starts off at the end of Age of Ultron, where he lifted the Sokovia in the air, and then they're about to sacrifice himself to destroy it, but then the helicarrier comes, and that's Nick Fury. He comes with with Shield, basically,
his team.
And then at the end of that, they started the Avengers facility, and you see Nick Fury in it, so it's like, oh, he should be a part of it.
He's definitely there.
But what happens is he had a sort of an off-site office or whatever. Yeah. And when the Civil War thing was going on, he was monitoring.
That's where he was at?
He was monitoring it. But the thing about it, Maria Hill, who's always kind of like pro-control of superheroes, she was kind of down for it. Yeah. And she was like, I kind of like the idea of a superhuman registration, you know, the Sokovia cards. Yeah. So basically, they're trying to stay out of that limelight to let them work that stuff out.
Okay, got you.
And then Maria Hill, but at the same time, Nick Fury was like, I'll respect that idea. I leave that, but I just don't like the fact that the two of them split apart because of this. Yeah. And then,
which would make sense because then it forced a person to play sides.
And then so months later now, the Captain America and and Black Widow and Falcon, they're a trio. Yeah. They're going on different missions as cleanup crew to clean up the Chitauri, because Avengers 1 still has impact. Yeah. You know, the Chitauri aliens coming. There's still people taking Chitauri technology to do all types of stuff.
They're still using
so they are going around, and kind of clean up, but at the same time, Nick Fury was doing that too. Nick Fury and Maria Hill with their, basically what they did was when SHIELD collapsed, they took some funds from SHIELD before it collapsed to start their own little organization they call Transpo.
Okay, Transpo.
Gotcha. So they started their own thing where they had enough resources, they had money, they had vehicles, they had stuff like that. So they were doing the same thing a Captain was doing by cleaning up all the Chitauri mess. But they were doing it separate from Cap and separate from Iron Man. So during one of the missions, Cap and Black Widow and Falcon, they did their thing, they finished the mission, and then they're about to leave, and then that's when they meet Nick Fury. Nick Fury is saying, listen, man, y'all need to make up. He's telling me, because we believe threat is still coming, you need to make up. And during that time too, Maria Hill was like, "Yo, are you still trying to depend on Nick Fury, Cap, and
Yeah.
Tony to make up and
Yeah.
become these Avengers?" Because remember the last thing he said in Avengers 1 is like, "They'll come a time when we'll need them.
Exactly.
They'll come back
Yep.
because we'll need them."
Yeah.
And he said, "Do you still trust that idea that when some shit goes down?" And then she even says, "But what about her? Do you still keep her on lock, on mine? You know who her is?"
Her, Marvel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So he says, "Nah, I don't think we're ready for that yet. We don't. We ain't hit DEFCON 1 yet, or
so
DEFCON 4.
Like,
DEFCON
she's
1
like
is
the last.
last resort.
So she's probably like one of the brockiest characters that they're gonna introduce so far.
So she's like, "Nah, we ain't ready for her yet. We still, you know." So that's why he went to Cap to try to convince him, and Cap said, "Listen, it's not even about me. The dude is pissed off. Like, you know what I'm saying? I already put a lifeline out. I gave him the phone whenever he's ready to call me. He can call me. Yeah. So he's like, all right. So it's not you the problem. He the problem. Yeah. So he sent Maria Hill to go over there to talk to him. Yeah. And he's like being snarky. Yeah. You know, it's like, do you even still work here? What the hell? You know what I'm saying? You're fired. Wait, can I even fire you? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he's like, nah, he's not with it. He ain't trying to talk to Steve. You know what I'm saying? And then cut to post Avengers Infinity War, and you see them driving in the car, and you know the post credit scene. Helicopter crashes. They crash, and then she disappears, and he was about to call, and he disappears. So basically, chronicles what happens in between. So basically, he was just staying out of it. Which is kind of dumb, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like I have a feeling like if he was around,
he could have kind of swayed it in a certain direction.
Like for sure. You know what I'm saying? And then he would have figured out a better way, because I'm sure he knew Barnes is the one who killed Tony's parents. I'm sure he knew that shit.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of stupid, but at the same time, I also feel like, I don't know, like Marvel has this way of like having things happen off screen, and it leaves it like ambiguous. It leaves it for the person the viewer to kind of like fill in the rest. So I kind of feel like they play around with that, kind of fill it in for yourself. What is your theory about that? And then it also gives them ability to then introduce something new, as in this comic. And that's another thing within itself. So I feel like it's all part of like the business aspect as well. So I think it's cool.
Yeah. But you know, the only sad part about it is that we were without Nick Fury for a long time.
For like, what, two, 3 movies.
Because he wasn't in Civil War, which was like the kickoff for Phase 3. Yeah. He wasn't in Spider-Man. Yeah. He wasn't in
obviously
Guardians. He wasn't in Thor, because those are all.
He wasn't movies. Was he in? He wasn't in Ant-Man 1, was he? He was? I don't think he was. He wasn't, right? Yeah.
No. He wasn't even in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, wow.
He wasn't in that one.
So that's a couple then.
Yeah.
he had a large gap in there.
So it was about Age of Ultron, and then the post-credit scene of Infinity War. Jesus Christ. But they're making it up by, he's going to be in Captain Marvel, obviously, as a young Nick Fury. I believe he's gonna be in 4. Avengers
I have a
4.
question though. With that, him being in the Captain Marvel movie, is it gonna be still Samuel playing him?
You didn't see the trailer for it?
I've seen the trailer, but I don't recall seeing Samuel in it looking younger. He was in it looking younger?
Yeah, I mean, he had hair.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, so that's Samuel Young. Yeah. Samuel hair, he's young again. Because you know him with the bald. Yeah. So he's like, give him some hair. 20 years younger now. Yeah.
But but yeah, he's gonna be in Captain Marvel. He's gonna be in Avengers 4, I believe, and he's gonna be in Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Oh, that's dope.
So he's getting.
I'm looking forward to seeing
a crap ton of movies.
Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Yeah, he and Maria Hill is gonna play a big part in that.
Is that taking place? That's prior to.
That's after Avengers 4. That's the movie that's going to lead us into Phase 4, the new world.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, man. All right, so that would wrap up the movie news portion. So comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of the movie topics that we talked about. And hit that subscribe just in case you are just watching highlights or whatever. All right, so let's move on to some TV news. All right, so this is some Star Wars news. This was actually rumored a while back, that they cast Pedro Pascal. He's the dude from Game of Thrones who Viper, what's his name? The Mountain busts his head open.
Oh, that's who that is. Yeah. Okay,
and
I like him. He's
he was in Narcos.
He's also in Narcos. Yeah, that's what I really liked him in Narcos. Yeah.
So Pedro Pascal, he's actually gonna be in Wonder Woman 84 as well.
Really, do?
I think it's confirmed that he's playing Maxwell Lord.
That's dope. If that does come to fruition, that's dope.
But so, they said he was cast in The Mandalorian, which is the Star Wars show that's coming to the streaming service Disney Plus. So, but we didn't know who was playing. But then when they announced the show, that's before the show was even named. It was like, he's coming to the Star Wars streaming show. Then it was called The Mandalorian. It was like, ooh, I wonder if he's playing the Mandalorians.
So he's gonna be the main character.
Yeah. So Pedro Pascal is playing the Mandalorian.
That could work.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think what the kind of flavor that they're going for is like a Western.
That's what I was gonna say. Because that could work.
Yeah, and I think he's I want to say he's Mexican. He
looks like he could be some type of Indian. Honestly, it looks like he could be.
I think he's
not
Latin.
Indian.
He's
Latin, Native American.
I think he's Latin though. I don't know if he's from Spain or he's Mexican or whatever.
Damn sure Latin.
But basically, like, if you're going for that whole spaghetti Western feel for it, it's definitely cool if you get to have like this whole Mexican
just seeing
feel of
these
it.
two pictures side by side, just shows me that this is definitely doable, especially with him being the face of it, because he can definitely lead a series. As we seen in Narcos, he was pretty he's pretty good.
So yeah, man, I'm super excited to see what they bring to the table with this Mandalorian. You know how much money they're putting into this thing?
What was like $100 million?
100 mil.
Like wow, it's a lot of money.
To put it in perspective, the season 8 of Game of Thrones, which comes out next
they put 100 million
April,
right?
Is 90 million.
90 million, okay.
Right? And that's his biggest season.
Wow.
Right, but it took them eight seasons to get to 90 million.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is the first season of Star Wars, so they put in 100 mil
into the first
season.
Woo! They take this,
and I think it's 8 episodes.
I would say it's a gamble, but with the amount of money they have, it's
Star Wars,
really...
and they're getting like, you ever seen that movie Dope?
Dope.
It's like this movie that it takes place in the present, but it's kind of like have a 90s feel to it about this kid who's a smart kid, but he's trying to get to Harvard, whatever, or one of them colleges.
Wait, was that the movie that had A$AP Rocky in it?
Yes,
that was the movie, right? Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah,
Tiger, A$AP Rocky.
Yeah, the director of that Rick, I could never say his last name. Yeah. Rick Fumiwa, whatever.
Yeah,
he's directing 2 episodes of this. Dave Filoni, who does the animated shows, the Clone Wars, and
he's gonna be in that too.
He's directing.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah, she's
directing 2 episodes.
That's dope. So
of course, Ron Howard who's her dad. Yeah. He directed Solo, so he's his daughter.
I still didn't see Solo yet.
I mean, it's good. It's a good movie. It's not like the best.
Oh my god, but it's
good.
Watch.
You know what I'm saying? It's a good watch. It doesn't deserve the hate. I think it really lost money. It was never supposed to be a big money maker. It was made for cheap, but the intention was to make it for cheap.
Yeah.
The reason why it lost money is because the original directors, Lord and Miller, they got fired.
Oh, wow.
And they had to reshoot about 70%. Yeah. Wow. They had to reshoot about, I don't know,
Hollywood
60,
is
70.
good for that. Hollywood is good for packing people up mid-movie. Like, yo, just get them out of here.
So the budget was doubled pretty much. So like when the movie came out, it didn't make back the amount of money that they wanted to make.
Yeah, from what I hear, the best thing about that movie was Danny Glover. That's what I hear. Donald Glover.
Donald. Yeah. It was good. It was good. I'm not gonna lie. It was fun. It was a fun little romp. But I can't wait for the show, man. Disney streaming service, like they have some shit on there. They're gonna have this. They're gonna have a Loki TV series.
A Loki TV series?
Yeah, starring Tom Hiddleston.
That's gonna be interesting.
A Scarlet Witch, starring Elizabeth Olsen.
That's gonna be interesting as well.
Wait, Falcon,
is all this gonna be on the streaming service?
Yeah, a Falcon and Winter Soldier series, live action too. Yeah. What else did they announce? I think they announced. I
really want to see how this is gonna work because I'm off rip just thinking about is how much is this service gonna cost?
Can't. I don't think they're gonna charge you more than what Netflix is charging you.
But they can just because. I don't think they would because the selection isn't gonna be as
Yeah, because
they're gonna have to get their catalog up before they start charging people a little bit more.
Their catalog is gonna be up. Why?
So they're gonna have all the Star Wars.
They're gonna have everything Disney has ever done in the.
So we talking about even the animated shit like Monster Inc., Toy Story, all
of them. Pixar, Disney's own proper animated stuff. Their movies, all the movies they've ever done. Plus they bought Fox.
What?
And Fox stuff is gonna be on there. I don't think the R-rated stuff is gonna be on there. I think the R-rated things are gonna go to Hulu because now they actually own 60%
of Hulu.
Because it was a joint owned thing. Where Fox owned, I think, 30, Disney owned 30, Universal owned 30, Paramount. So all of them owned a stake in it. But because they bought Fox, they took their stake in.
What I'm starting to notice is if you get in bed with Disney, eventually they're gonna swallow you whole. You're gonna become Disney eventually. That's what I'm starting to see about Disney.
But yeah, man, they come armed and ready to put some shows on. Yeah. All right, so the next bit of TV news we want to talk about is Jack Reacher. You said you've seen the first.
Yeah, I did see the first film. I actually read one of the books. I'm not sure what. I just picked it up. Like it was like a random pickup, and where I was at, I didn't have anything to do, so I just picked it up and read it. So I don't know if that was the first book, second book, or the third book. But the book was pretty dope. I did like the book. I read the book before I seen the first movie, so that's what made me watch the first movie. Yeah, and I could say I liked the book a little more than the movie. Yeah. Like, the movie was.
As a matter of fact, I think the movie describes him more of a brute, a bigger dude or whatever. Okay. The book.
Yeah, the book.
Described,
Yeah, the things that they was describing what he was doing in the book was definitely something that you would kind of think someone who was super muscular was doing. Yeah. Like.
So Jack Reacher, Tom Cruise wanted it to be his next sort of franchise that goes alongside Mission Impossible.
Which is crazy because I feel like they're like one and the same.
Yeah, the first one did well. The second one, not so much. What's it called? Never Back Down or something like that. I think the second one was called. Not a bad movie. I did watch it. I enjoyed it. But the author, speaking of the books, Lee Child, he pretty much said when they asked him about a reboot, about whether he'd reboot the movie. Yeah. But he's like, no, we're actually gonna make it a series. If I can find the.
I know people's biggest gripe with the movie was that Tom Cruise is like what 5'6" or something weird like that.
Yeah, he's a short dude. Yeah, he's a short dude.
I honestly didn't know Tom Cruise is that short.
Yeah,
I just found that out. That kind of gave me hope because I'm like 5'8". So I was like, oh my god, if Tom Cruise could do it, man, I could definitely do it. I could get it done.
He always makes sure that when he has hero scenes, he's like if he's in the scene with someone, I guess he stands on something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but he's super short.
I didn't know that.
He's like a short dude, bro.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
I think the only dude he never tried to front on in terms of trying to be tall is Henry Cavill, because that dude's a beast already. Yeah. It's like nobody will ever believe. Like, come on.
How tall is he? He's like 6. He's like 6'6", right?
6 something.
You gotta be like 6'6".
But. Yeah, so they're trying to do the TV show, and it's going to be on one of the streaming service. He said I guess he's still trying to work out which streaming service he wants to go to, whether it's going to be Amazon Prime or Hulu or Netflix. Amazon Prime has the Jack Ryan series. Yeah. So I have a feeling either they might say, you know what, since we're kind of in the realm of taking these books, because they're having Lord of the Rings coming out on Amazon Prime as well. Oh, really? Yeah, they're gonna do a whole series on that. Since they're taking sort of these.
Me. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, since
I'm looking forward to that now.
Yeah, they're taking all these sort of major books and put them into series. Jack Ryan, Lord of the Rings. They might take it, or they might say, "Now we're filled up." And Netflix will probably take it. Netflix has Chronicles of Narnia series and movies. They're gonna do a whole.
You know what I like about this whole thing about everyone kind of gearing up to release things. It becomes like a like this industry battle. Like,
man.
But everyone has something that's good to bring to the table.
Yeah.
Everything like what Netflix is about to come out with the Witcher series too.
Yes.
The books.
Oh my god.
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
So it's like everyone's gearing up to just throw content at us, like, and it's all good content. So I'm excited for that.
What. You know, because used to be like if you want to see some really cool stories and cool shit, cool special effects, you gotta go to movies, go to features.
Always, yeah.
Netflix,
now these series are like, damn near movies.
Yeah. Altered Carbon looks like 2049.
Looks great. Altered Carbon was great.
I don't know you haven't seen it yet, but The Haunting on Hill House.
Yeah. I should really watch that.
You should watch it, man.
Is it scary as fuck?
It's scary. It's the production quality on that shit, dude. They built because it takes.
If I want to be bugged,
most of the scenes are like the Hill House, right?
Yeah.
They built the set to be like an actual house, right?
Yeah.
So that's so they can move around and have camera moves.
Oh, so they can do pans like behind over somebody's shoulder.
Yeah, they can do.
Wow,
dude. There's an episode that has long takes. You know those long takes. Yeah. It has like 2 long takes in it, and the way because they built all the sets, including the modern day setting and the haunted house setting, because they built it. They're able to move the camera, and they're not using like CGI to do transitions. Yeah, they're actually getting people to move the set around while the camera is moving. So I
might have
seamless.
to watch this. I might, but let me
like there's a part where the camera has to go through like because you see like a bunch of chairs, right? Yeah. So the camera has to follow a character, but it's going through the chairs to do it. You seeing dudes move the chairs, right? Wow. Right? Like behind the scenes, they move the chairs and they're walking around and then they put it back. They put the chair back at the same place because when the camera pans around,
it got to be in the same place. It has to be
in the same spot.
That's crazy.
It was really dope.
Let me ask you this. How scary is it though? Cuz I want to watch it, but I don't want to be disturbed like for the rest of the night. It's like Hereditary level of disturbed.
I love it's not in your face like even though you have some of those like
but you got your jump scares. Like,
yeah.
Oh man,
but
I hate those.
You have those, but you have the ones where, remember in Hereditary when you're looking, what the fuck am I looking at?
Ambiguous kind of scares. Like
what am I looking at?
What is that? Yeah.
Yeah, you have those. It's like,
oh my god,
creepy. Just like, oh my god. Like if you're looking at it, because it's something that the camera lingers on. Yeah. And you're seeing it. You're seeing this thing. Yeah. And that in itself is scary because it's lingering on it. Yeah. And it's moving and you're like, oh my god.
I figured it had to be good because as soon as you turn on Netflix, it's like the whole Netflix is themed to promote that show. So I figured it had to be good.
So yeah, definitely check that out. And Jack Reacher, hopefully it gets picked up because I enjoyed the first 2 movies and I'm sure it's a lot of books, so they want to do a lot of episodes on it.
Yeah, there's gonna be hella episodes.
All right, so let's move on to some video game news. All right, so the only video game news we're gonna talk about is Square Enix. You played Final Fantasy 15?
Yes.
Okay. So you heard about the whole cancellation. They canceled.
Yeah, they canceled
3 out of the 4
DLCs. That was like, I'm pretty sure every Final Fantasy fan. Was
I was kind of
throw the whole game away at this point.
But you know what though, I was more tight with the Luna one because they had Arden and they had Luna. Yeah. And they had Aranea and they had Noctis, and the Noctis one was really going to be like some alternate timeline.
Oh, it was. Oh, okay.
I didn't mind that getting canceled. I didn't mind the Aranea one getting canceled because you got enough of Aranea from not only the main game, but when you played episode Prompto as well, you get she's a big part of that. But Luna is the one who got kind of shafted in my opinion because you never really got to see her interacting with Noctis as much. So we're hoping that would kind of correct that. Like maybe you see scenes of her interacting with him, kind of play up on their relationship a little bit more.
More character building and shit. Yeah.
So that got canceled. It was like, that sucks. But at least Arden is coming out.
The way they did it, no, let's slow down for a second. Let's talk about how they did it. Because Square Enix got this thing where whenever they're like releasing some big news,
yeah, they do a whole.
They kind of do a whole like mini conference kind of thing situation, and I think they kind of got that from like Nintendo.
Nintendo Direct.
Nintendo
they
Direct.
call for that one they call ATRs. They call active time reports.
Okay, active time report.
Yeah.
So they did it like they was gonna like release some great news, like you was gonna hear some great news, and they just dropped it on the screen, like went.
Yeah.
And you had to read it as it just unfolds, and you sitting there like, oh my god.
Yeah, they canceled. They just
they cancel it in the filthiest way.
Hajime Tabata.
Yeah.
He left.
The
left. Company.
He just was like,
yeah, I'm out.
I'm out of here. He wanted no parts of whatever was going on. He wanted no parts anymore.
But so the main reason why they said they canceled all these projects that they were working on, because Luminous, they opened a new studio called Luminous Productions for Tabata to work on Final Fantasy content plus whatever new game is coming out on the Luminous engine. So they wanted to have a dedicated staff dedicated for that. But the reason why they canceled it, they said, you know what, all this resources we're dedicating to a game that's 2 or 3 years old now, they could be dedicating to making a new AAA title. And lo and behold, as a couple of weeks after they announced the whole cancellation, they announced like, oh, now they're doing a remake, basically. They're taking the staff and making a new AAA title for PS5.
Oh wow!
So,
wow.
PS5 is right around the corner.
That
you know
could be
what I mean?
something to look forward to.
But that's the thing with Square Enix. They take
just
so long.
Never know. They'll show you something that year, and then you won't get it another 6 years later.
6,
so you
7
just
years.
Never know.
They announced Kingdom Hearts.
They announced
however long.
You're talking about 3, right?
Yeah,
they announced Kingdom Hearts 3. I could tell you probably. I think they announced it back in. I think it was like early 2015, if I'm not mistaken. Like it was like early 2015, bro. And it wasn't even like a real trailer. It was just like the Keyblades on the floor. He walks up, picks it up, looks at it. You're like, oh my god, Kingdom Hearts is coming. Fast forward, we're like what? Almost damn near 5 years later, bro.
They announced Final Fantasy VII remake. Around 2015 as well. We don't know when that's coming out.
And they announced, remember, before.
And then 15 was versus 13
versus
in 2006.
2006.
Oh my god.
Damn near 10 years later.
So we don't.
Wait. Was it 10 years or was it like? It was probably more.
So
like 12.
and peep this. They announced Avengers. They announced Avengers video game. I think in 2016 they were doing an Avengers game. 2016 or 2017.
Avengers video game.
Yeah, because they got the rights for Marvel to do an Avengers game. Yeah. So they showed a CG trailer. It looks dope and everything.
Have you ever played Marvel Alliance? Was it gonna be like that?
No, they're working. They didn't tell you whether it's going to be an RPG or whether it's going to be like a third-person action.
Oh wow. Okay.
What kind of game it is? They just announced they did a CG teaser, and that was it. Avengers video game coming out. That was like a big get for them. Yeah. And they're working on an original. It's not based on any of the movies. It's kind of like how Spider-Man, it's kind of like how Spider-Man is like an original premise, but it's capitalizing off of the movies. Same thing with Batman Arkham. So this is their time to take the Avengers properties and make it to a huge spectacle.
I think they could do it. I think they could do that.
We don't know when that shit is coming out.
Oh, they didn't drop any hints. Nothing. Like no.
They just showed the trailer. That's it. It looks like they're only good at because Square Enix.
They love doing that. They come out stuff in front of us like, here, you like this?
Because they come out with other games. Obviously, they come out with the Tomb Raiders. They managed to come out with 3 of them shits. Yeah. So they know how to release games.
Yeah, they're busting games.
Just Cause 4. You know what I'm saying? Dragon Quest. Yeah. They're up to what 8 now or 9 or whatever. You know what I mean? They didn't make Persona, right? No, that's not them.
They didn't. Atlas.
Atlas. But yeah, they can release games. It's just when it comes to certain kind of games, they just take their time.
Yo, and the
I think
Dragon
RPGs
Quest games are really, really good.
I think the RPGs that have like,
I had to put that out there.
The RPGs that have like a lot of production value attached to them.
Yeah.
I think those are the ones that take a long time to
come out. Because the Dragon Quest, it took hella long, and I think that's just because they have like Akira Toriyama doing the actual artwork, I believe, and that's the guy who does the Dragon Ball Z series.
Right.
He's a creator of the Dragon Ball Z series.
Right.
So they have him doing that, and then they have the voices, because in the game they actually have the Japanese dialogue and you have the English dialogue as well. So it's like they have to do that too. So I figured that's probably why a lot of their games might take a little time, because there's a lot of detail and a lot of things poured into it. But same time, 10 years plus is a long time waiting for a game after showing a trailer. That's like, you know how much happens in 10 years? Like, yo, you get people getting married, have kids. You know what I'm saying? Like that is nuts.
Oh man, I think what they should really start doing is announce a game when they're at least a year out.
Yeah.
Coming out. Don't announce, because I know a lot of these announcements they do it for their stock prices. Like, because when they announced Final Fantasy 7 remake, the stock went up.
Rose up, yeah. It's
you know what I'm saying?
Everybody wants parts.
But then all this, I think they damn near lost $33 million of production stock.
Yeah.
Right now. But Final Fantasy is still a good brand.
Yeah.
I'm still holding out hope that 7 comes out pretty cool soon, and 16, whatever that is,
and
doesn't take that long.
I believe last month there was some information that came out on the Final Fantasy 7 remake saying that there's a total rehaul on everything. Like they had.
Well, that was like from back in the days when CyberConnect was making it, and then they fired CyberConnect, and then they basically went and said, "No, we're gonna take it in house."
Yeah.
I don't know if they're starting off from scratch or they just wherever they left
from
out.
What I read, it sounds like they're starting from scratch.
What I did hear, from Tetsuya Nomura himself, he says once he's done with the Kingdom Hearts, because Kingdom Hearts comes out in a couple of months, that he's gonna go full steam ahead with 7.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So hopefully we get these games out pretty soon, man. I'm tired of waiting. And hopefully when 16 comes out, they don't piecemeal it like they did with this game. Right? Release a movie and a cartoon and episodes, DLC that you gotta buy.
Some book bags and T-shirts
just to get the full story. You know what I'm saying? It's
but I do know we have like it's like leading up into 2019 is like pretty star-studded video game lineup.
Yeah.
As far as like a lot of good games coming out, so that's gonna kind of hold us off and not like take our minds off of the wait time for everything.
We got what Kingdom Hearts 3. We got Resident Evil 2 remake.
Oh my god! Yeah, that's January 25th, I believe. Right?
Yeah. We got Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry 5. We got
and the official sole successor to Devil May Cry 4. We ain't talking about some
DMC.
rehashed DMC bullshit with like, you know what I'm saying, a Calvin Klein Dante. It's the official Dante. He's back, you know.
What else we getting? We getting I think Days Gone. We're getting Days Gone.
Oh, I totally forgot about Days Gone.
Yeah.
When are we getting that?
I don't know.
No release date?
No, I don't.
Goddamn.
Or maybe it is in February. I'm actually even excited about Anthem too. I want to see how Anthem.
I'm having mixed feelings about Anthem.
Anthem.
You know, Microsoft, man. Them guys over there.
Well, EA. It's really EA.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, I can't say Microsoft.
But yeah, shit ton of games coming out. Yep. All right, so that'll do it for this episode of the Pop Culture Galaxy show. First, if you want to send an email to the show and any questions or any comments you just send it to the PG Show at popculturegalaxy.com. That's the PG Show at popculturegalaxy.com. And No Genre, where can people find you on internet?
Basically, you can find me on every social media platform as No Genre, NOE_. No Genre. And my music is available on SoundCloud and all other streaming services as No Genre as well. So definitely tune into that and look out for that.
Yeah, I'll put a link down below with all his links, so you can check that out for yourself. And hit that subscribe button. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. And hit the like, comment down below. Let me know what you think of all the stuff we talked about today. So until next time, folks. Peace.
Click to the do.